So with the Mets' young players on full display so far this spring, the most impressive performance has been outfield prospect Alex Ramirez. So far in Port St. Lucie, Ramirez is 4 for 10 with a walk, a double, and a run batted in 11 plate appearances, while playing plus defense in an extended look in right field this week. Now, last year, Ramirez really struggled offensively in High A Brooklyn, slashing .221, .310, .317 with 7 home runs and a 78 weighted runs created plus across 521 plate appearances. As a former international signing by the Mets back in 2019 out of the Dominican Republic, Ramirez is now 21 years old and was added to the Mets 40-man roster this offseason to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. I'd say that you and me, with Alex Ramirez, we do like this guy's upside a lot as a possible major league player, because the skill set is definitely there.
I love Alex Ramirez. I have loved Alex Ramirez for a long time. That being said, his 2023 season was very disappointing.
It was, yeah.
There's no other way to look at it. He really struggled last season. And I understand why a lot of people are lower on him this year compared to last season. For any Mets fan, because this is, in my opinion, this is the highest upside prospect the Mets have, besides maybe Ronnie Mauricio. This guy, I think it's also at the same time we have to acknowledge, last season he was 20 years old. We have seen tons of good major league players struggle at early ages in their minor league career. The tools this guy has, he has not grown into his frame whatsoever, and he still has incredibly above average raw power numbers. His bat speed is incredible. He's a good defender. He can steal bases. So I'm still going to go with the view that this is one of our best prospects. And I'm happy David Stearns protected him. And that gives me confidence that our president of baseball operations is also confident in Alex Ramirez. And I really like what I'm seeing during spring. His bat speed is showing. His pitch recognition looks a little bit better. Obviously, it's a tiny sample size. If he does get relegated to Double-A, I would just be looking to see him just stay competitive. I'm not looking for some crazy stats because he's still very young. He has not grown into his frame. He has a lot of room to grow. And sometimes that just takes time. Like Byron Buxton did not grow into his frame to like his mid-20s. Some prospects we just have to give time, especially ones as raw as Alex Ramirez. And I have tons of high hopes for this kid. If he struggles mightily again, I might have to really kind of step back on him until he proves us wrong. And so this is a huge year for Alex Ramirez, but I have so many reasons to be excited about this kid's upside. He's 21. I think Alex Ramirez is going to prove people wrong this year.
Yeah, I think on the scouting report, like initially from when he was signed, when he was like 17 years old in 2019 or 16 years old, there always was a scouting report that he's a huge free swinger. The swing decisions are just horrid, but he has great pull power upside. Last year, wasn't chasing as much. We didn't see as much chasing. The walks were a little bit up as well. Mainly the problem was kind of consistency against high velocity and kind of just making more contact as compared to, you know, just swinging for the fences. Or I think the pitch recognition was a little bit better, but like just against high velocity last year, he was not catching up to any of that. And I got to see him live a little bit. There was a lot of swing and miss at some fastballs. Like there was a lot of swinging. But he did have some of those instances where he was pulling some good stuff down the line and he was showing off the tools and, you know, defensively he looked fantastic. So there's a lot of upside in every single tool measurable for Alex Ramirez. And I think that David Stearns has definitely seen that. And I think the fact that he did add him to his 40-man roster to protect him from the Rule 5 draft after having such a terrible year as compared to what he was expected to be, it speaks a lot. It really does speak a lot. When you look at how Stearns looks at it in terms of pure tools and pure projection of what they will be at their best and what they will be at their worst, it says a lot that he added Alex Ramirez to the 40-man roster. And I think that maybe that I hope that boosts a little bit of confidence in the kid going forward. And, 21 years old, still young, and we'll see what he does. The upside is immense with Alex Ramirez. To just give up on him as of right now, it's been tough. Let's not be real. It's been tough, but I'm hoping that maybe we do have a little bit of a path of Ronnie Mauricio where he kind of grows into his own, 22-year-old season or 23-year-old season, and maybe we start to see the real player that he is expected to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is such a raw prospect, even right now, even during spring training. And he has showcased all the tools of a star outfielder. I agree. It is incredibly too early to write him off or trade him in some just throwaway deal. To me, he is still one of our best prospects, and I have tons. I'm holding on to hope that he will showcase the kind of player he can be. He was only 20 years old last year. He was only 20, and he's incredibly raw.
Obviously, we do need to see it, of course. It looks like he added a little bit of muscle, but there's still a frame he's got to grow into. We're hoping that there's an arc of Ronnie Mauricio there where maybe you see him a little bit bigger. Obviously, not compared to Ronnie because Ronnie's a freaking giant, but it's a 6'3" frame. At what he was like last year, 170, I think that there's a little bit more strength to be built up there, a little bit more muscle to be added there. And I think that just overall, eventually, we're going to start seeing this guy consistently pulling some fly balls, pulling some line drives, and you could see a 20 home run season in a full minor league season if he fully pans out well. And I think that that's something that we really do need to look out for. And I think that with all these prospects that were traded over to the Mets, he's kind of just been completely forgotten, especially with guys like Drew Gilbert. Jet Williams has taken a big spotlight last year. Luis Angel Acuna's here. So he's kind of flowing under the radar a little bit. So I think that right now he's at the lowest value. With him being so young, there's only one way to go but up with him. And that's what I think that is good. And I think that Stearns really sees that as well. I saw him in real life, and he is a skinny twig.
Yeah, no, man, he needs to...
He's a twig. Yeah.
But like I said, dude, Buxton was a twig for so long, and he was a top prospect for a long time, and he was just a noodle in the majors until he really grew into his frame, tapped into his tools. Sometimes it happens later than you want, but that doesn't mean you trade or write off a 20-year-old who had a bad season in the minors. He's still a prospect. He's not in the majors for a reason.